Rise and shine on Australia's Vision Christian Radio.
Well, we have Chris Barnes, the CEO of the Missionary Aviation Fellowship, with us again today. Chris, welcome to Rise and Shine.
Thank you, and lovely to be back with you. And we've been thinking about you guys and praying for you guys up there in Queensland, and with all the terrible weather. So nice to see you online or hear you online.
That is right. Thank you so much, because we appreciate. It's wonderful how both national organisations, MAF and Vision, we can work together and support each other. It's just beautiful, especially at the moment. You've got some exciting things going on in MAF.
Yeah, we do. We've got a brand new plane, one of our new Cessna, or can I say that? Cessna 208s on. Which is on its way to PNG. So it's a plane that's been donated by some supporters overseas, and it's coming to PNG to serve there. And at the moment, what we're doing is we're about to launch a plane tour with it, where we take it all around the east coast of Australia. So it's something we've never done before, and it's really exciting.
Well, so where is it going to be?
Okay, so we're up in Mariba at the moment, finishing off some maintenance on the plane, and then it'll be flying down to Caloundra, Caboolture, then down into Sydney, Canberra, down to Melbourne, and it'll be there for the big air show at Aviation, and then it works its way back up through Moorabbin and Ballarat, Orange, Dubbo, Toowoomba, and Bundaberg.
Oh, wow.
You name it, we're going.
Wow. That's a very busy plane. You know what, Andy, I wonder, do you reckon, Chris, we could get some Vision listeners on that plane as it makes its way around?
I think that's a good idea. Now, we know it's a Cessna, Chris. How many seats are on this plane?
Okay, so we've got 11 seats on the plane, right? It's called a caravan, actually. It's called a Cessna caravan. So there you go. I thought you towed a caravan. But anyway, This one you fly. So it's a caravan. We've got 11 seats. But you'll be pleased to know there are 2 pilots and there's a crew member. So that gives us 8 seats. 8 seats on a plane.
So you might have room for a couple of Vision listeners, and maybe even for Fel and Andy to join that flight as well.
Whoa. Now that's an idea. Yeah, I reckon we could do that.
Really?
Yeah, I reckon we could have a go. We're opening it to supporters, right, and prospective supporters, and so we've been inviting people along. So it's not been sort of just open to anybody, but I reckon we could do something with you guys.
Oh, that would be amazing. So it's going to a few different locations, and you'll have these sort of little flights at each of those locations, Chris?
Yeah, so we're calling it an immersive flight experience.
Oh, that sounds very good.
Doesn't that sound great?
Yes.
So what we're trying to do is show people about what we do, right? So what is the work of MAF? And so the first part of the experience is everybody takes a persona. So all the passengers on the plane, some will be MAF people and some will be isolated people. And then the first thing you do, it's a bit like an escape room. You have to work out together how to create a flight plan for the day, right? So the isolated people need to get somebody for medical, somebody for education, and people moved around. And then you've got to work out with the MAF people how to do that. So that just shows you a bit about the challenges. And then after that, you get on the plane and you go for a flight. And
really?
And we've got the MAF people there who will be sharing all about what we do in detail in PNG, and a chance for people to ask questions and a chance for people just to find out about the work of MAF globally, but particularly in PNG.
I love the idea.
You'd be able to see Caloundra or Caboolture or wherever you might be from above.
It sounds amazing, Chris.
Very cool.
Chris, I've always been a big fan of the movie Top Gun. Do you think the pilot could do some tricks for us? Maybe some figure of eights, loop-de-loops, dive bombing some of the islands off the Queensland coast, all that sort of stuff.
You're going to be Maverick for sure, aren't you there, Andy?
I'm sure I'm on the ground while you're doing that.
Well, I can't do it. I'm not a pilot, but will your pilot, respond to requests for tricks like that?
That one may be a little bit too far, right? I reckon we can get you up and we can get you back. But,
Well, if the Red Baron can do it 100 years ago or so, surely we can do it in the modern day MAF Cessna. Come on.
I think so. I met one of our founders last year, a lovely guy called Jack Hemmings, who sadly passed away in January this year, but he was 103 and he was a World War II pilot and he used to fly bombers in the war. But last year he flew a Spitfire. And he was telling me about how maneuverable this plane was, right? And I thought, oh, Jack, what would you have done in an MAF plane like that?
He would have had a lot of fun, I suspect.
You just need Jack is what you need there, Andy.
Unfortunately, he is no longer with us, so we can't get Jack across. But look, the pilots you'll have, there's the chief pilot from PNG, a guy called Ariane, is there. Another guy called Tim, who's head of our pilot training. And then also a guy, Marcus, for some of the flights, Marcus Gray, who's just been welcomed into the Aviation Hall of Fame in the UK for serving for 40 years. He's been flying planes for 40 years.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
And your pilots are excellent. And just for our listeners who aren't familiar with the MAF, it's the Mission Aviation Fellowship. You fly missionaries and church groups and just local community people all over the world, especially in places like PNG and Africa where the road system isn't great. And so that's what the MAF stands for. And they're doing this tour all around Australia with this plane that's been donated, which eventually will base itself in PNG and be a huge blessing up there. And Chris, you guys just do an amazing job. I know a lot of our listeners may not be familiar with the MAF, but you just do such an amazing job all around the world.
Thank you. Look, we do our best, and there's just so much need out there, right? You look at all these isolated communities, and there's just so many challenges and so many opportunities to go and support and serve those communities out there, right? And when you go to PNG, there just aren't roads, right? You look at, so I was watching a short video the other day of a pilot coming into land on one of the airstrips in PNG, and all you see is just trees, and there's nothing, all right? And you can't even see where the guy's going to land. And eventually he sort of turns a corner almost, and there is this small little airstrip, and boom, comes down, and out come the community. It's amazing. Wow. And that's the lifeline, right? Because these guys, you're talking days to walk to the nearest hospital or the nearest town, right? And so if somebody is sick or they need something urgently, you haven't got a chance, right? And that's where MAF comes in.
Amazing. And you've been doing it for a long time, Chris. It's a birthday year this year, I believe.
Yeah. Contrary to popular belief, I'm not turning 80, but we are. So MAF turns 80 this year, which is awesome, right? And so the plane tour is part of that. And we've got some other celebrations later on in the year, which would be really good to share with you guys.
Oh,
right?
wonderful. Well, we can't wait.
Listeners will want to get involved in some of that, right? We've got a CineMAF coming up shortly where you can host a movie at your church, right? A MAF movie. So there you go. So that's something to look forward to.
Sounds good, Chris. So if people want to connect into the Mission Aviation Fellowship, what's the best website for them to go onto and check you guys out?
Okay, so our website is www.maf.org.au.
There you go.
www.maf.org.au.
Amazing. Oh, Chris, thank you so much for giving us some tickets for these plane immersive flights. I'm going to have to try and stop Andy from taking over as the pilot, I reckon. He'll be keen to have a go.
We'll video him, all right? And we'll record it as well.
Oh, dear. I can definitely see him turning up in a flight suit, that's for sure, Andy. What do you reckon?
Yeah, definitely that, and not an air hostess suit, Phil, that's for sure. So, yeah, give me the pilot's cap any day.
And we can put you on the top of the wings. You could do a wing walk.
Oh,
hey, there you go.
Actually, I'd pay money to see that. Please.
I've seen that on YouTube. Yep, it's been done before. Yeah, Chris, thank you so much for your time today, Chris. And happy birthday. Happy 80th birthday. And we know you guys have been a huge blessing in the last 8 years, and you'll continue to be a massive blessing in the years ahead as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And it's such a pleasure working with you guys, right, and partnering with you. So be cool, and we'll see you on the tour, right? So look forward to meeting some of those Vision viewers. I was going to say listeners. Sorry.
Thanks for taking time to listen to this audio on demand from Vision Christian Media. To find out more about us, go to vision.org.au.